Hello everyone, this is ACHAIA Kaya, and we are in round of 32 still. The round of 32 action for the Wrath of the xel'naga tournament, which of course is being sponsored by the SC2 Armory site, and Bloodwolf has been kind enough to organize and moderate this tournament. And the matchup we're going to see right now is going to be Handlebar as the orange Protoss here in the lower left, playing against Crazyjeff. This guy is apparently pretty crazy, but anyways, he is playing as the green Zerg in the top right here. So we are going to see another PvZ matchup. The last matchup that I shoutcasted was also a PvZ, which was Bob Shoemaker versus Minion. And Minion, my guy with the orange Zerg, which is my favorite color and race. I know I've said it before, but I like those colors. I like those selections. He did manage to pull out a win, winning 2-1 in that series, and he is going to move on to the round of 16. But anyways, we are going to be starting off on the same map here, Blistering Sands, which of course, once again, is a 2-player map. So both players will be fully aware of where the other player is spawning in. Like I said, I don't believe either of them is playing as random. I believe they both selected Zerg and Protoss, so they are aware of each other's races. And it looks like an early scout going down from Crazyjeff. He is going to keep an eye on the Protoss player's base and see exactly what's going on here. And there is a gateway going down at the entrance there, so it looks like the Protoss player going to utilize his first few gateways to minimize the amount of choke at his front entrance there. And actually, is there? Okay, yeah, there is. It looked almost for a second there like it was a complete wall off, but he actually was able to leave a little bit of a gap there. So probably actually practicing that SimCity so that he knew exactly what kind of spacing he needed to have. Meanwhile, the Zerg player Crazyjeff has put his spawning pool down already. And if we take a look at the income overlay here, we can see that both players have about the same amount of harvesters, so the income is actually right about the same right now. And more drones coming out for the Zerg player right now. He actually tried to catch that probe off guard and actually take it down, but not able to get to it quite quick enough. And the probe player is going, or I'm sorry, the Protoss player is going to move his probe out of the Zerg player's base and not put it at risk anymore. The Zerg player still has a drone inside that Protoss player's base. I'm not sure. Yeah, he does see it, and it looks like he has set the rally point over to take care of that drone. So if Crazyjeff does not move that drone here soon, it is going to die. And it looks like he is going to pull it out of there just in the nick of time. But it looks like it's still 2-gate just for Handlebar right now, and he is chrono boosting one of his zealots. So we may actually see a pretty early zealot push from the Protoss player Handlebar here. He does have 3 zealots out right now and continuing to produce more. So he is actually committing pretty heavily to this early zealot pressure, investing a lot of his resources in this. Currently, though, you can see that the Zerg player has an advantage on the amount of miners it has. 18 drones right now as opposed to only the 12 probes for the Protoss player right now. So that could actually definitely spell a significant income advantage for the Zerg player. He does have around the same amount of minerals coming in right now, it looks like, but he does have his gas up and running, which the Protoss player does not yet have. And it looks like he is going to put down a couple of spine crawlers to help deal with these zealots that are coming to put some pressure on him. So this could be a very early game. If the zealots are able to actually get up here and cause some serious damage, we'll have to see if they're able to do anything. Although if we take a look at the production overlay here, we can see that 12 Zerglings are being produced right now in addition to this 2 spine crawlers. So with the help of the Queen and these 2 spine crawlers, I think that he'll be able to hold it off. And for some reason, Handlebar has stopped his zealots short outside of the base. There are 2 more coming up from behind, but I don't think that that is going to be enough now, especially since he had that little pause. If he would have gotten up in there before the rest of the Zerglings and these spine crawlers finished, he may have been able to actually do some damage here. But at this point, that window has pretty much gone, so he is not going to be able to do anything with these zealots, it doesn't look like, because he does not have enough to handle this right now. But looking at the production overlay, he's continuing to produce zealots, and for some reason, 1 zealot just running in there by himself to get just absolutely run over by those Zerglings and spine crawlers, and the Zerglings going to move out. There are a lot of zealots here, so with just these Zerglings going up against the zealots, these zealots are definitely going to win that battle. But if he moves up and takes on the Zerglings along with the Queen and the spine crawlers, I don't think that he is going to be quite as happy with the result of that battle. But it does look like he has more Zerglings building right now, about 10 more Zerglings, and he's got a Hydralisk Den building. So he is going to be able to use those Hydralisks to ward off any Void Ray tech, and a lot of Zerglings on the map right now. Looking at the units overlay here, we can see that there are 18 Zerglings from from the Zerg player here. So he is going to move out, try to kite those Zealots away, but it looks like they are going to stay put for the time being. And another Zealot joining the fray here, and one more still moving across the middle of the map, and actually one just now leaving the base for Handlebar, and he is getting ready to put down 2 more gateways as well. So going for a 4-gate timing push possibly. He does not yet have the research for a warp gate going, and he still only has 16 probes, which is actually pretty surprising to me, not really getting full saturation on his mineral line right now. And these 2 spine crawlers moving out here for the Zerg player. Looks like he is going to try to leapfrog them forward by using these creep tumors here to move his creep forward and force these Zealots out of his base if he can. And once again, these other 2 Zealots that have been moving across the map are going to join the rest of his army on the offensive. And he would be best off trying to move in at some point when these spine crawlers are running. Although it looks like he missed that window there. These spine crawlers are at a range currently, but these Zealots are going to be able to take down these Zerglings relatively easily. But the problem now is dealing with the spine crawlers and the Hydralisks, which those Zealots already softened up from all of the Zerglings, and of course the fire from the Hydralisks on the back lines, and they're going to be able to hold that off without any problem. And the Zerg player is still at an economic advantage, I gotta think, since we do see that he has, actually, you know what, they are evening out right now, it looks like, because the Zerg player has more or less ceased production on drones, so they're going to be even right now on production, and on income, and neither player has gone up in expansion, although it looks like the Zerg player is just starting one. So we'll see if the Protoss player responds by putting up his own expansion or not. But one Overseer is moving in from Crazyjeff, trying to get a look at the Protoss player's base, and he's going to drop a Changeling in there so that he can do a little bit of scouting and see exactly what's going on. And the probe taking down that Changeling right away, not letting it really get a whole lot of scouting in, although I think he did pretty much get to see everything that he wanted to here. There is a Citadel in the Cyber Core, and of course he does have the fort, and it looks like the warp gate technology is actually being researched finally now, so it should be done here in not too long. And these spine crawlers now moving down outside of the ramp here to defend this new expansion that he is trying to get up and running. Looking at the units overlay, we can see that there are only 3 Hydralisks out on the map for the Zerg player right now. That is pretty much his whole army, although there is not much of an army from the Protoss player. He only has 4 Zealots, so both players with a pretty minimal army right now. I'm not sure exactly why these players are not really utilizing their, I mean, they haven't expanded much. Obviously the Zerg player is just now getting expansion up, but they also do not have a whole lot in the way of an army or resource, so it seems like this game pace is a little bit slower than it should be. But anyways, the warp gate technology finishing up, so these are all going to morph into warp gates, and it looks like he will be warping in some more Zealots. So the Orange Protoss player Handlebar is sticking pretty much to the straight Zealot strategy, it looks like, which if he wants that to be effective, he needs this charge upgrade to finish for his Zealots, because those speed legs for the Zealots are very important for getting us around on Hydralisks. And it looks like there are still 3 Hydralisks on the map, but no more being produced right now, from what I can tell. If we take a look in the production overlay, actually there are 3 more being produced, and there is an upgrade for the range of the Hydralisk spines coming right now as well. And it looks like the Zerg player getting up a lot more drones right now, so he may